Before we begin tonight's story, if you're drawn to whispers in the dark, secrets buried deep, and spirits that never left, then subscribe to the channel and hit the bell, because what comes next is not something you want to miss. Episode 1: The Ownerless Raincoat. A woman murdered by her own husband. Her spirit still lingers in the laundromat, where she sought shelter from the rain one last time. If one night you see a yellow raincoat lying alone in a laundromat, don't touch it. I'm wearing it, wearing without a body. I am a corpse that tells stories. The smell of wet fabric and iron-tinged mud rises from my body, a body that's no longer a body. I float in the stench of cheap detergent, between humming washing machines and flickering fluorescent lights in a low-rent laundromat in South St. Paul. I used to be a wife. I used to believe I would leave him on a rainy day, wearing the yellow raincoat I bought with money I saved secretly in a drawer, and run away from a man with a gentle smile and hands that knew how to strangle without leaving marks. I remember that night, Friday, rain fell like water from a fire hose. I ran past 6 blocks, heart pounding like a war drum. My phone was off. I had left everything behind, carrying only a folded $100 bill hidden in my shoe and a stupid fruit knife I thought could protect me. I hadn't planned to stop at the laundromat, but the rain soaked me through, and the flickering neon sign, "Open 24/7s," looked like a temporary refuge. I pushed the door open. The place was as silent as a cemetery at midnight. I collapsed onto a bench, water dripping from the hem of my coat. One washer was mid-cycle. A dryer hummed in the back. The scent of detergent hung thick, mixed with something else, sweet, moldy, and metallic. I took off the yellow raincoat, thinking I'd wring it out and put it back on. I never got the chance. He came. I didn't understand how he found me, but later I overheard a conversation. He had hidden an AirTag in the collar of my coat. That piece of tech killed me. He walked into the laundromat at exactly 11:58 p.m. I saw his face, and I knew he wasn't here to take me home. He was here to make sure I never left again. I ran. The place was small. He cornered me by washer number 3. No one heard my scream. No one else was here after midnight. Just me. And him. No one heard anything except the raincoat falling to the floor, soaked in my blood. I died there. I don't know when I became a ghost. Maybe it was the moment he dragged my body behind the dumpster, shoved my coat into the washer, and hit soak cycle. Maybe it was when I saw my own body stuffed into a black trash bag, tied up neat, like a bundle of old clothes. I stayed. My raincoat did too. Afterward, people noticed something strange. Every rainy night, washer number 3 would turn on by itself. A yellow raincoat appeared in the drum. No one knew whose it was. Someone once took it out, hung it on a hook. But the next night, it was back inside, soaked once. A young woman came in, hunched back, purple-dyed hair, carrying a hidden camera. She thought she'd film a viral ghost video. She pulled the coat out, tried it on, laughed at herself. In the mirror, in that second, I entered her. I borrowed her body. I didn't kill her. I just relived a memory. The feeling of walking in the rain without fear. The feeling of skin, of sight, of smiling lips. Then I let her go. She screamed and ran from the laundromat. But after that, I didn't want to borrow someone. I wanted to find him. I don't remember his real name. In my contacts, I saved him as Mike. He's probably left the city, probably living free, dating someone new, getting ready to tag another coat collar. I wait. I watch. Once, a man walked in who looked like him. I entered. The janitor made him look up, but it wasn't him. I started confusing the living and the dead. I showed up in the security footage, a faint figure in a yellow coat facing the corner of the wall. One night, I saw him again. The real him. He didn't recognize me, but I recognized him. I entered the night shift clerk, a young man, always on his phone. I made him stare at my killer. I whispered into his ear, "That's him. Washer number 3. Put him in it." Shove the coat into his mouth. T-E-R-Y. The young man screamed and fainted. He ran, but I know he'll come back. He left his phone, and I never leave. I am the ghost of someone never believed, never saved, never identified. I am the ownerless raincoat, but I still wear it every rainy night, and I wait for the next person to walk in, the one who might tell my story, or wear this coat for the last time. Asterisk, Episode 2. Washer number 5 spins on its own. I used to think washing machines only held soap suds. Now I know they can hold bones. My bones. 6 years old, loved candy corn, hated greens, obsessed with dinosaur books. I lived in an apartment on the 3rd floor, right at the corner of Willow and Vine. My mom said the place wasn't great, but it was cheap. Cheap was good enough. It was near a 24-hour laundromat. I never thought I'd die there. Die without being found for 2 days. Die without a proper cry, because the first person to see me was the same person who killed me. It was a Wednesday. Mom left me with her new boyfriend, a man with a ponytail named Rick, who wore a bullet pendant and lit his smokes with a Zippo. Rick didn't like me. Said kids were annoying. I don't know why Mom picked him that afternoon. He handed me a lollipop and told me to sit still. I didn't sit still. I was curious. The machines were humming. One of them had the lid open. I looked inside. The drum was shiny, like a spaceship. I climbed in. When Rick saw, he didn't smile. He didn't scold me like most adults. He walked up, shut the lid. I thought he was playing. I laughed and said, "Peekaboo." He locked the latch. I tapped the glass from inside. Still laughing, "Rick, open up. It's too tight in here." He didn't. He stared at me through the curved glass. And he pressed start. The first sound was a hiss. Then water rushed in. I screamed. I shouted. I wailed. No one heard. The lights flickered. No one came. I couldn't breathe. I banged on the drum. I cried. I called out for Mom. Soapy water flooded my nose and mouth. I tried to move, but my body twisted, like a rag being wrung out. I thought I just passed out. But when I woke up, I was a ghost. I wandered inside washer number 5, couldn't get out. I watched people come and go. They loaded clothes, pushed buttons. No one knew I was in there. My cloudy eyes, my tiny hands spread wide, like I was asking for help. One time, a middle-aged woman opened the lid, started putting clothes in, then froze. She saw me. I thought she'd scream. She didn't. She just stared, shook her head, whispered, "Another child." Again. She closed the lid. Didn't do laundry. Didn't look back. Another night, a group of teenagers brought a camera. They wanted a ghost video. They sat in front of washer 5, eating chips, laughing. I slipped into their footage. Frame 17, a white blur. My face dripping like wax. Mouth full of bubbles. They didn't notice. I screamed from inside the drum. The machines shook. They ran. Sometimes I see my mom. She walks past the glass doors, carrying groceries. Never looks inside. She thinks I went missing. She doesn't know I'm just behind this wall of glass and a few laundry coins. I want to tell her Rick did it. I want to tell her I never left. I'm still here, but I can't. Rick's still alive. He moved after the police. Found nothing. He came back once. I saw him through the glass. I screamed until the lights flickered and all the washers popped open. He ran. I haven't seen him since. I still sit in washer 5. It's taped over now, red, out of order. But the owner won't remove it. No one dares. There's a little girl with curly hair. She stares at the machine every time she comes in. She smiles at me. I smile back. I hope she never climbs in, like I did. I hope if she sees me more clearly, she won't be afraid. I'm Joey. I used to be a kid. I used to think washing machines were for clothes. Now I know. They hide crimes. If you ever see washer number 5 spinning by itself at night, don't open it. Don't stop it. And don't forget to ask, is anyone still inside? Episode 3. The woman who washed one dress for a month. He said, I looked the most beautiful in that dress. And then he washed it with his own hands to scrub my blood from the white lace. My name was Helen Moore, or used to be. They just call me her, the shadow by washing machine number 9. At midnight, holding a bundle of white lace stained red dot, no one remembers what year I died, but the dress is still there, and the blood hasn't faded. I used to be a bride, in a small lakeside town in Michigan. Old wooden church, stained glass dome, and out-of-tune organ. I wore a white dress. Not bright white, more of an ivory shade, made from vintage lace my mother saved from her time. She hand-sewed every stitch, said it should only be worn once on the most beautiful day, and I wore it. Then I died. My husband's name was Gregory Moore. When we first met, Greg was gentle, wrote poems, took pictures with an old film camera. After the wedding, he changed, controlling, jealous. He banned me from going out, banned social media, banned lipstick. I became a doll in a wedding dress, locked in the house. Each passing day washed away the white fabric of love, revealing the dark stains of fear. I used to think I could change Greg, until the night he tied me to the table leg and said, "You don't deserve to wear this dress." I died on the living room floor, my blood soaked into the lace dot. Greg didn't call the police. He wrapped my body in bed sheets, secured it with duct tape, and stuffed me in the trunk. He washed the dress first. At a 24-hour laundromat, I followed him there, not walking, dragged by the dress itself. I didn't understand why my soul wasn't tied to my body, but to the blood-soaked lace. Maybe because I loved it more than I ever loved myself. Greg put the dress in washer number 9, set it to hot water, added softener. He stood there, staring at the spinning drum like he was hypnotized. He waited until the blood was gone. He thought he could wash away guilt, but blood doesn't rinse, and I was still there. The dress held on to my soul. I became part of that laundromat. Every night I came back. I pulled the dress out of the washer. I shook it, scrubbed it, soaked it again, washed it by hand every night. To keep the blood from spreading, I stood by the sink where no one pays attention. Rinsing until my fingers turned pale from cold. Even though I couldn't feel anything anymore. I did this every night for years. Sometimes people see me. An old woman once told the owner, "Someone's crying in the bathroom. Water's been running all night." A black man who always came to do laundry at 2 a.m. He once forgot his underwear in the machine. Came back and found me sitting in the middle of the floor, dress spread around me, hair wet, eyes ghost white. He never came back. One time, a young girl brought her wedding dress to wash. She put it in machine number 9. I got angry. You shouldn't wash a wedding dress in a machine. It shouldn't spin like a rag. I made the washer stop. I locked the lid. She didn't understand. She called a repairman. He forced the lid open and found not her dress, but mine. That ivory lace, yellowed by age, with a streak of blood down the spine. Greg was arrested. Not for me, but for killing another woman he met online. Police investigated, dug up his backyard, and found my bones. My name made the paper. One small headline, "Missing wife found after 12 years." No one mentioned the dress. They took my body away. But the dress, it stayed in the laundromat, hanging on a hook, untouched. So did I. I couldn't leave it. I don't remember exactly what I looked like anymore. But I remember every stitch my mother sewed. I remember the last button Greg didn't get to undo. I remember the blood flowing from my neck down to the lace. I don't hate Greg anymore. I don't cry for him. I cry for me, for loving him blindly. Now, I only wish that one day someone will wash that dress one last time, by hand, gently, not let it spin inside a soulless machine. If you pass by the laundromat and see a woman bending over a sink, hands soaking an ivory dress, don't disturb her. She's trying to wash away the blood and the wound. Because sometimes some things can't be washed with soap. They must be washed with time, with soul, with tears that dried long ago. Asterisk, Episode 4. The scent of fabric softener can't hide the stench of death. She said I was dirty, that my blood stained the carpet, that if she washed me clean, the police would never find anyone. My name is Timmy, 9.5 years old. I used to be in 3rd grade at Roseland Elementary. I loved sour candy, loved fire trucks, loved hugging my teddy bear at night. Now, I only love the smell of purple Downy, the softener scent she used every time she wiped my blood from the floor. She used to take care of me. Now she's the reason I'm no longer alive. My mom was an addict. I was often home alone, eating white bread and ketchup. One day, my mom passed out in the bathroom. Social services came and took me away. They placed me in Nancy's house, the kind foster mom. Small house, beige walls, always filled with the scent of fabric softener. At first, I liked it there. Nancy brushed my hair, called me her precious boy. But every time I did something wrong, spilled water, stepped on the carpet with dirty shoes, she wouldn't yell. She dragged me to the basement. There was a big metal tub, a thick wooden table, and a separate washing machine. The first time she hit me was when I said, "I miss my mom." Nancy slammed my head into the wall, then stroked my hair and whispered, "Your mom's dead. I'm your mother now." I didn't cry, because every time I cried, she'd make me sit in the washer, not turned on, but sealed shut, dark, tight. I hated it. I hated that syrupy softener scent, masking, vomit, and rat droppings. One day, I woke up with blood under my nose. Nancy panicked. She didn't want blood on the white bed sheets. She dragged me to the basement, stripped me naked, wiped the blood from my face, threw everything into the washer. She poured in softener, more than detergent, and she said, "No one must see blood. No one must smell a body." I died. I cried. I begged. Nancy waited for me to stop breathing. She stuffed my body into a plastic bag, covered it with scented towels. Then she took all my clothes to wash at a 24-hour laundromat on the corner of Fox and Murray. She wanted to wash away the memories, but I'd already clung to them. I didn't latch onto my body. I latched onto the scent, that purple softener, the lavender, calm kind. I drifted through the softener scent, seeping from clothes, lingering in washer drums. 3, 5, 8. I crawled into the tiny vents of dryers, riding warm air mixed with death and lavender. People said, "So clean, so fragrant," but all I felt was disgust. Someone once sensed me, a college girl doing laundry at 1 a.m. She coughed nonstop, then vomited in the bathroom because she smelled. That smell, not from her clothes, but from the machine. The smell of a morgue sprayed with perfume. Nancy's still alive. She's fostered to more kids. Then one disappeared. Then one got transferred for being too controlling. No one asked questions. No one remembered me, because my clothes were clean, my blood drowned in Downy. But the laundromat remembers every night. After midnight, washer number 5 starts spinning. No one turns it on. No one loads it. Just me, curled up inside, clutching the teddy bear that was washed too long, seams torn open. I don't cry. If I cry, they'll lock me back in. I used to think I was a bad kid, but now I know I'm a witness. I saw what she did. I saw how she wiped blood, burned towels, washed every sock. I remember it all. Every stain, every bruise on my arms, every drop of softener that fell into my eyes as she scrubbed my chest with a brush. I want someone to uncover the truth. I want someone to load that same softener into the washer and smell it, and cough and vomit. And remember, then they'll understand that fragrance can hide a corpse, but not a crime. If you walk into the laundromat late at night and see washer number 5 spinning by itself, don't open it, and if you smell lavender mixed with rotting flesh, run dot and remember my name. Timmy, 9.5 years old, killed by a softener scent that couldn't wash away the scent of sin. Episode 5. The Curtain with Dried Bloodstains. I was murdered in a room with no cameras, no witnesses, and no one ever asked why the motel curtain got taken out to be washed in the middle of the night. My name is Frank. I died in a cheap roadside motel off I-95 in southern Georgia. I don't know the exact time of death, just that when I was still alive, the clock on the wall said 1:42 a.m. an hour later. My body was dragged across the tile floor, my mouth taped shut, my neck bruised, deep purple, blood soaked into the faded carpet, but not as much as what got onto the curtain. A thick, dark curtain covering the west-facing window of room 17. I lay there, staring at it, eyes wide open. Footsteps entered the room. Not the police, not the staff. It was her, the woman who came with me that night. She didn't cry, didn't scream. She just stared at me for a while, then took the curtain down. I didn't understand why she didn't run, didn't call 911, didn't look shocked. She simply yanked the curtain, brought it into the bathroom, stuffed it into a black trash bag, and left the place like there wasn't a dead man swelling in the dark. That curtain, the only thing soaked with my blood, was taken to a laundromat 3 miles away, open 24/7, unattended, just washers, dryers, and pale blue fluorescent lights. She stuffed the curtain into machine number 6, poured in bleach, and lit a cigarette. I followed her. Or rather, what remained of me, the part soaked into the fabric. I wasn't a good man. I had a wife and kid, but I snuck around. I gambled. I lied. I once pushed a coworker down a staircase for a bonus, but I didn't think. I deserved to be murdered, not strangled with a belt, not left in a pitch-black room, not erased by a curtain thrown into a wash cycle. The washer spun. Water hissed through the fabric. Clots of blood peeled away. Bleach, softener, and something else. Something cold. So cold. I felt myself caught in the stream, drifting in the drum, eyes open, never blinking. She didn't kill me for love, not for money, but because I knew her secret. Her name was Jessica. No one ever checked her real background. No one noticed she'd lived in Iowa, changed her name 3 times, had 2 ex-boyfriends vanish, both cases still unsolved. I was number 3, but I didn't vanish. I stayed in every thread of that curtain, in the scent of blood that never fully washed out. She thought it was clean. Thought once the dryer stopped, the curtain would be like new. She took it home, hung it in the living room. A week later, her new boyfriend died. Same house, same bruises around the neck. No witnesses, but I saw. I always see. I'm behind the curtain. She tried to wash out my blood, but every time sunlight hits it, the stain comes back, not red, but black as coal. Ash that never left. She washed it again. This time at 2 a.m. Same laundromat. Same machine. This time I made the washer never stop. The drum spun for over 3 hours, even after the cycle ended. She pounded the lid, screamed, unplugged the power. But the machine kept spinning. Then she smelled it. Not bleach, not softener, but the stench of a long-dead corpse preserved in chemicals since that night. Nothing can be cleaned in machine number 6. White shirts come out maroon. Fresh towels come out smelling like raw meat. They taped a sign on it, out of order, but I'm still there. Every night, I wait for someone to bring the curtain back. I wait for police to find old files, receipts, security footage from the parking lot. I wait for someone to remember who Frank was. I don't deserve forgiveness, but I didn't deserve murder either. If you walk into that laundromat at midnight, if you see machine 6 with its lid open, don't look inside, because I'm still in there. Inside every pleat, every dried bloodstain, and every ounce of rage that hasn't been rinsed away.